Hey, how's it going, guys? Stonewall here with Raised by Sharks. Today we're going to be bringing you our top 5 Greatswords. So with the Greatsword, outside of the top 5, the drop-off is pretty dramatic. So you're going to want to pretty much stick with these top 5, even if you're just casually using the Greatsword quest here or there. So the way we figured out which ones were the top 5 and what order we were going to put them in was we're using a calculator online that shows us the true, raw, and the final attack that you would get from each weapon, with the non-elemental weapons assuming to have had the non-elemental boost, and the ones that do have elements assuming to have used a jewel to make up for the non-elemental boost, such as a regular attack jewel or critical eye. We also factor in elemental damage, jewel slots, and augmentation slots onto that, as well as defense and Elder Seal. So overall, these are the top 5 Greatswords by Raised by Sharks. Number 5 is the Leviathan's Fury. It has 960 attack, a little bit of blue sharpness, 0 affinity, 300 dragon, average Elder Seal, a medium slot, and 1 augmentation slot. The final attack you'll get from this weapon is 240. But it has probably the best design on this list, arguably of all the Greatswords. It's a very nice looking weapon. Next on the list is the BARROTH Shredder 3. So it has 960 attack, blue sharpness, negative 20 affinity, unawoken paralysis, which you're not going to use because you're going to want to use the non-elemental boost in that medium sized slot. It also has an extra small slot in defense and 3 augmentation slots. The final attack you'll get from this weapon is 251, although it can be raised with the extra augmentation slots or by raising that affinity back up. But the sharpness isn't the best amount of blue, so you're also going to have to sharpen quite often, because if it dips into the green, then it actually drops below the Leviathan's Fury. So out of all the weapons, this is the only one we've really had this issue with. Numbers 2 and 3 are tied, and they're also extremely close to number 1. So numbers 2 and 3 are the Great Wyvern JAWBLADE and the Purgation's Atrocity. So the Purgation's Atrocity had 1008 attack, a really good amount of blue sharpness, 150 dragon, high Elder Seal, a small slot, and only 1 augmentation slot, giving you a final attack of 252. Whereas from the workshop tree you get the Great Wyvern JAWBLADE that has 960 attack, a little bit of blue sharpness, a big jewel slot, 20 defense, and 1 augmentation slot, giving you a final attack of 264. Now the reason this isn't number 1 is because it's lacking those augmentation slots, and it's tied with the Nergigante Greatsword because Calculator doesn't factor in Elder Seal or elemental damage. Also, the Nergigante Greatsword has a lot more blue sharpness. And a lot of players also don't want to do those arena quests, which can be really frustrating because you have to do them multiple times each to get both tiers of the Greatsword. And you also have to be using the non-elemental boost for this Greatsword to be up there, so it's wasting a slot where the Nergigante Greatsword wouldn't be. And what surprised us the most was the number 1 Greatsword being the JAGRAS Hacker 3. Nobody would think that that weak monster would create such a great Greatsword, but it has 912 attack, a little bit of blue sharpness, so the same issue that the workshop one had. It's got 2 big slots and 3 augmentation slots. That is what brings this up to being the best Greatsword, because you throw on the non-elemental boost and you get a 251 final attack from this weapon, but with 3 augmentation slots, giving it the potential to beat out the Nergigante Greatsword and the Workshop Greatsword. Also giving you more flexibility to work with your builds than the Workshop one would give you, because it has the extra big slot and the augmentations that you can use to work out whatever you're missing from the actual build itself. We also like to give a shout out to the Xeno'jiiva Greatsword. While it's not good, and it's not even in the caliber of the conversation of those first 5 Greatswords, it is the only one with white sharpness, and it also has a pretty nice design. Alright, that's all we have for the top 5 Greatswords for you guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to Raised by Sharks for more top 5 videos.